Now to the bombshell release by Congress today of Jeffrey Epstein's emails. House Republicans released 23,000 pages of documents obtained from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. That came just after House Democrats revealed some of the new documents that contain numerous references to President Donald Trump and his long relationship with Epstein. The emails include Epstein writing to his convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, that Trump, quote, spent hours in Epstein's house with one of Epstein's alleged sex trafficking victims. This update comes as newly sworn-in Congressman from Arizona, Adelita Grijalva, a short time ago provided the crucial 218th signature on a discharge petition to force a vote on releasing the full Epstein files tied to the sex trafficking investigation. Our investigative reporter, Terry Parker, has followed the Jeffrey Epstein case for years. She joins us now with more on what we're seeing today. Terry?
It's a lot, Todd. The Republican House Oversight Committee just releasing over 20,000 pages from the Epstein files as a response after Democrats released 3 notable Epstein emails first thing this morning, mentioning President Trump. The White House hitting back, calling it a Democratic hoax to distract from the harm caused by the government shutdown, which the administration blames on the Democrats. Democrats releasing 20,000 new documents from the Epstein files, but highlighting 3. In one 2011 email to his former girlfriend and co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein wrote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump." He added that Trump had spent hours at my house with a person whose name is blacked out of the emails, but whom House Democrats identified as a victim. White House spokeswoman Karoline Leavitt said the redacted name of the victim who allegedly spent hours with Trump was Virginia Giuffre, who maintained before her death by suicide this year that she never saw anything inappropriate when she was around Trump. Former Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg agrees.
Virginia Giuffre, in her book and in public statements, has never accused Trump of anything improper, said that he didn't do anything improper. The question is whether or not they spent time at Epstein's home. That's still an open question. And also, Virginia Giuffre has had some issues in the past of credibility, which is why she wasn't called as a witness in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial.
Epstein also wrote that Trump has never once been mentioned. In a separate email to Epstein biographer Michael Wolff, Epstein wrote of Trump, "Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop." However, that sentence is unclear and may reference Trump telling Ghislaine Maxwell to stop poaching female employees from Mar-a-Lago. White House spokeswoman Karoline Leavitt says the emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. Congresswoman Lois Frankel asked about the controversy, reminding us it all started here in Palm Beach County.
Epstein, that abuse came to light in Palm Beach County, Florida, where I live. And it was there that they had what I call phony prosecution to let this man off after abusing so many children, to let him off with prostitution charges. Ridiculous, unjust.
It's a battle of document releases at this point. The Republicans pushing out this massive release apparently to show that they are not hiding anything in the Epstein files and possibly to push back against demands for a vote to release all of the files, which, with the swearing in of this new Democratic representative, could come soon. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.